What's going on, everybody? We are back today to talk about Mickey 17. If you don't know Mickey 17, this is the new film from Bong Joon-ho. We love director Bong in this house. You can see I just put up my new Memories of Murder poster, and I'm very excited to dig into this one. Before I do, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button if you like movie reviews, more movie content, all that good stuff. So, like I said, this is the long-awaited follow-up from Parasite. Of course, Bong Joon-ho's last film won Best Picture, amongst many other awards. It was a smash hit, and similar to Parasite, this movie thrives on being a little bit of everything. This is a dystopian sci-fi, a la something like Snowpiercer that we've seen that Bong can handle with confidence and, just an insane ability to render just like dystopian sci-fi spaces. And then there's a little bit of animal rights movie, something like Okja. And then, of course, it just has like the classic class criticism commentary that we saw from Parasite. So this really feels like a lot of what Bong has brought to the table in the past coming together in a very nice, fresh new package. You would normally expect something like a follow-up to a movie like Parasite to be a huge blank check swing, and while it does feel like Bong did have full control over what he wanted this movie to be, it just feels like this is very in line with what he already wanted, and he's kind of staying the course, which is totally fine with me because every movie I've seen from Bong Joon-ho I absolutely love. This movie stars Robert Pattinson not once, not twice, but 17 times, or 18, depending on how you count. And this is a movie that's a little bit of clone sort of hijinks shenanigans, but also really about a dystopian civilization who is going to a brand new planet to try to start a fresh new colony. Now, of course, every good colony needs to have a leader. That's how we get Mark Ruffalo in the mix, who is doing a sort of subtle, but like really not subtle at all imitation of Donald Trump, which I found quite entertaining, especially knowing now that he has unfortunately won the election. And then you also get Toni Collette in there, it's pretty dastardly, but there's a lot of really great support in this movie. I want to shout out Naomi Ackie, who is excellent in just about everything I've seen her in. She continues to absolutely tear it up. If you've seen Sorry Baby from Sundance this year, you know that she steals that movie in the supporting role, and this one is no other. She just absolutely eats up every second of screen time she has, and she plays with the Pattinsons very, very well. And Steven Yeun is in this for a very small part, but I do still love what he's doing here. I think it's very in line with the sort of zanier roles he's been taking recently, and I am all here for it. Just to expand a little bit more for the plot heads, this is about the idea of an expendable, which is like a person who they're bringing who can be reprinted and sent out to test out new and potentially unsafe environments in a way where people do not have to feel bad about them dying. This, of course, opens up a crazy sort of Pandora's box about, the ethics and morality behind something like this, the religious side, the political side, all those things. And Bong touches on all of that. And he just does a really great job of not, spending too much time on just one thing. I think he really bounces around from a lot of these big ideas really well. This is a great screenplay. It is adapted from a novel, but it does feel very cinematic. So I do just want to shout out Bong Joon-ho for that one. I mean, you could tell he really fell in love with this idea, had some really big ideas of his own to put this forth. And like I said, one of the biggest strengths of this movie is how it's rendered, how it looks. And in the end credits, the thank you section, you can see he thanked Greg Fraser, who, of course, if you don't know, is not only the cinematographer of the Batman, but also the Dune movies. I think that it's easy to see why a director making a dystopian sci-fi movie would want to get in contact with someone like Greg Fraser. And of course, just knowing the best ways to shoot Robert Pattinson. I mean, he is electric in this movie. I'll watch him in just about anything right now, but I have to say this has been one of my favorite performances from him. He just gets to do whatever he wants. There is times where he gets to be silly and dark and angry and just flat out make sound effects, and it's just all working for him. This is like the ultimate acting reel because it just showcases every different facet of what he wants to do. There's shades of this movie that are like echoing things like High Life, of course, on the, brooding, sad boy on the spaceship, but also things like Good Time, where there's a thrilling sort of mission at hand. But I think there's a really fun side to this character that we haven't seen a lot. I mean, it's, we all know, especially after seeing The Boy and the Heron, that Robert Pattinson clearly loves to do a silly voice. You see it in Devil all the time. Delusions! You definitely see it in this one too. He gets to do a couple different voices in this one, and it's all working for me. I mean, he might not be your guy, that's okay, but I find his presence to be simply undeniable. While this movie, of course, does really work as just a sci-fi adventure sort of movie, and it is a lot of fun. This is something I enjoyed quite thoroughly, could see myself rewatching many, many times. I would expect nothing less from Bong Joon-ho in the way that this is just a powerful, powerful commentary on the pawns and people who are more or less disposed in the name of creating new society. And it feels like that's a really important thing to touch on where we're at right now in our current society. And few movies do such a good job of just making it seem as abhorrent as it is. This is a massive vegetarian movie. If you've seen Okja, you know that director Bong feels very strongly about animal rights and activism and things like that. And he touches on that here as well with some delightfully cute creatures. They are called creepers and they are amazing. And I love them so much, which is what makes this movie kind of hard to watch sometimes, just like Okja. So if you don't really know what that's all about, if you're sensitive to things like that, I would recommend just kind of, viewer discretion, we'll say. All in all, this movie is just really airtight. It's about 2 hours and 20 minutes and it flew right by to me. Like I said, it's something I could see myself revisiting many, many times. I'm kind of itching to see it again already. It's definitely not the best Bong Joon-ho movie I've seen. It'd be pretty hard to top. Obviously, Memories of Murder is incredible and Parasite is incredible and even Snowpiercer and Okja are incredible, and I'm still going to work my way through the rest of his Korean films, but this is an extremely enjoyable entry to me, and I think that even Bong's worst movie is probably better than most others. So this is definitely worth your time. I highly, highly recommend it. I'm going to stamp it, of course. We always going to give a stamp for director Bong because ambitious filmmaking is deserving and worthy of your time. I'm going to go with a 4.5 out of 5 for this movie, which is maybe a little bit higher than some other people will be, but I just think this is a huge rewatch value to it. I think this is a very, like I said, tight movie, something that I think accomplishes its goals extremely well, and something that you might not see as much of in the current climate. So something that's refreshing, good to see, and I am very excited to see where Bong will go next. Guys, if you saw Mickey 17, definitely let me know down below what you thought. If you haven't seen it yet, take this as your recommendation. Go see this movie. It is shot for IMAX. It looks brilliant in IMAX. It sounds amazing. It's just a technical masterpiece and an absolute joy at the movies. I think this one's another hit. Absolutely. As always, keep watching great movies and have an awesome rest of your day. Peace.